Well, hello again. So, you had the preseason episode. We're here for the main thing now. We're here for the opening round where we've gone through all the boring stuff. Make it, you know, it's not actually boring, is it? Delivery. You know, we've gone through the boring stuff with all the facilities, etc., etc. We are finally here for the opening round where we're gonna hope at least it's going to be at least something okay. Obviously I've transitioned recently to PC. And for me, the game has felt completely different. It's a mix of no grip and lots of grip. It's something I'm trying to get my head around because it just feels completely different compared to what I'm used to in terms of enjoying what I drive. Going on to the tire allocation, then we're gonna go balanced because we know tire wear. It's okay now because of all the Lyco. It just takes so much speed out of the corner. And in terms of the driver, we're going to select. We are going to go for Gabriella Mini because if you pay your attention to the last episode, we got the option to who do we want to focus, and we pressed the focus Victor Martin because we were going to control Gabriella Mini. But nonetheless, it's hopefully going to be a good Grand Prix, a good qualifying. We can always hope, where obviously, because of the fact that Formula One is very competitive, because we had 11 teams on the grid, make that 12 teams because of our own team now. It's going to be something that is going to persuade entertainment, persuade excitement because of now the extra 4 cars that are being placed on the grid. And we know My Team Career Mode, it's an enjoyable thing. It's something that everybody loves doing. Just it takes a lot of time to get used to My Team, but in my bit, I've done it for ages. I've done it offline, online for ages. So I love it. I love doing My Team. To see your own team rise up through the ranks of Formula One. We have our practice sessions, FP1, FP2, FP3, then qualifying, and then the Grand Prix, 50% races, because I don't want to bore you with a 100% race. Honestly, in my own time, I do 100% races because I actually enjoy. In terms of messages, then we have got a message from Mark. Welcome, such welcome. That's in welcoming Gabriella Mini to the team. Mentioning no upgrades for this race weekend. A weekend preview that Mark has sent us is on about the track and such as well. Currently drivers and construction standard. That means absolutely nothing, to be honest, because we haven't had a single race yet. And then the weather, luckily, it's all dry. So, nonetheless, we can continue on. There's your engine components. Obviously, don't need to change anything. The driver standings are from last season. The constructors is not. I don't know why. But nonetheless, FP1, my footage decided to not work when I wanted to get FP1 footage. So you're going to see FP2 and FP3 where we took some quick practice, get it all done, and we can then make sure we've got maximum resource points available for when we get out of the race weekend. So then we can continue to upgrade our car, and you can just see in a minute we can see we gained 746 resource points, plenty, and then we can go into qualifying in a few moments' time for the Australian Grand Prix. Just mentioned into a few tricky spots on the circuit to be careful in, examples like turn 10. But for qualifying, you have to be on the limit. You have to take risk at turn 10 if you want to have a good lap, to have a good time. But nonetheless, we can go and move on to qualifying, where we need to hope we can at least get out of Q1 first before we can think about any points or any Q3 possibilities. On to qualifying we will go, and let's get this party started.
And a warm welcome, everybody. We're here in the heart of Melbourne. It's Albert Park, and it's qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Well, here we are in qualifying then. We are here where this is where it matters. This is what all the practice, all the times come down to. You have to be on your A game if you want to succeed within Formula One. And it's going to be the tall ask to even get out of Q1 here because we know how OP the AI are in qualifying at least. So we have to make sure that we can really get a proper lap on the board. We've got our setup ready. We've got everything ready. We can go out onto the track. The delivery is quite nice. I do love the shine of the purple and then the boldness of the white. Then you have the Seren logo, the Seren sponsor logo there for ourselves. And see, the only problem I have with like the AI, they don't back off, do they? Like you can see, we're just preparing our lab. You see the AI, they do not back off whatsoever. They might have been on a lap, they might not have been on a lap. I'm not actually too sure, but you see, we're just doing our own battery strategy. You can see the Ferrari or Hamilton absolutely flies on by. So we make our way into turn one. There is an Audi as well on the pit exit, and that completely impedes us. We take a wider line, so our lap has already been hampered with twice, and we've only done 2 corners. In towards turn number 3 we go. We do the Lyco, break around 100-meter board, get it rotated. Don't really want to clatter that red sausage curb. Then we go through turn 4, apply the power. Let's keep it on medium battery, then through turn 5 before we make our way down in towards turn number 6, where you rotate it through the right, but then the lap was already in the bin. We pull it in the bin even further, and that will be that for that particular lap. Nonetheless, we can go onwards. We can power on to continue in this qualifying session. Same tyres, barely warm. We can just go on for another lap in this qualifying session. Look how much time we gain already. 7 tenths of a second up. That shows how much time that we lost just from those 2 little moments. Anyway, through turn number 3, much better that time. Make sure we don't clout the curb. Then through turn 4, see, look at that. We're basically almost a second up already on our first sector, which we did do this sector at full speed. Go through turn 5 towards turn 6. We go take a lot more care in the rotation this time. Then flat through 7, flat through 8 before we make our way flat through turn 8. Now all the way down in towards the turn 9 and turn 10 chicane, where you have to be on the limit. You see, draining all the battery all the way. Pull it into me, keep it in medium. Then we do some Lyco to save some battery. Rotate it through 9, then through turn 10. Lovely use of the curb to cut it as much as possible. As now we make our way down in towards turn number 11 here. Do more Lyco. Rotate it in. Be careful with it, because if you use too much curb, you could invalidate and it could spit you out wide. Anyway, we go through turn 12. Then towards turn number 13 we go. Once again, just make sure we keep it nice and steady, rotating it through. Plenty of battery. A little burst up to the line. Overtake enabled. All the way to the line. Where can this lap put us at the moment? We cross the line and we slot into P10 ahead of George Russell and marginally behind Pierre Gasly in the Alpine. And now we can make sure we can get out of the way of other drivers before we make our way into the pit lane and back into the garage, where we can now go and have a look at the timing page. And ever since we came in, a lot more drivers have gone ahead. We have dropped down, and Martin's even gone ahead of us. We've gone down into P15. So at the minute we are safe, because in the Mighty and Korea, the bottom 7 get eliminated. So 24th, 23rd, 22nd, 21st, 20th, 19th, 18th. So the bottom 18 will all go out in this qualifying session. We are currently safe by a 10th and a half at the minute, but also we will have to probably go again because of how much how risky it is. You have to, I can't get my words out, can I? How risky it is in terms of ensuring that you can have a safe time. Valtteri Bottas, by the way, over the line in the Cadillac, goes into 5th position. With a final sector, I think the simulation might have blessed him there, because he's got a purple final sector by around 8 tenths of a second, 7, 8 tenths of a second. So, or half a second. So, I don't think the Cadillac is that quick to be setting final sectors that are that much faster than everyone. But we can make our way onto the circuit. We can make our way for our final run. And the only problem we're going to face now is the traffic. We trundle out a pit lane. There's the Red Bull of, I believe, Max Verstappen ahead of us. We make our way on the exit of the pit lane, and then we make our way in towards turn number 1. On this outlet, there's so many cars around us, so we have to try and find some space, really. Just find some space. We make our way around the final corner and head down the main straight. You just see an AI behind us. Once again, look, the AI just don't back off. With Lindblad getting impatient. Luckily, the AI do brake really early, so we go through turn number 1 and completely sweep around the outside. Our lap barely impeded there, actually, because of how early the AI brake on the inside line. We're marginally down, probably because of the distraction of Arvid Lindblad, but we go through turn 1, lock up ahead, I believe, from the Red Bull. Through turn 4, before turn number 5, 700ths down for turn number 5, then towards turn number 6, we make sure we have the Lyco, and I completely take the entry run, completely go wide, dip a wheel in the gravel, and that's qualifying done. On the bubble, we are 16th, we need to go down to P18 if we are to go out in this qualifying session, but with basically every single driver around us and behind us on a lap, it is going to probably be a Q1 elimination for ourselves. We can move on to the qualifying results. Then you saw on the wheel momentarily, it's a P23. So we go along the back row. Antonelli tops Q1 from Norris, Albon, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Bottas, Piastri, Ocon, Hadjar, Behrman, Gasly, Russell, and then Lawson. And then Max Verstappen all the way down here as well, behind Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Victor Martin 18th, Alonso in 19th, and then Bortoleto, Lindblad, Perez, ourselves. Then last round off the grid. So we're not going to see Q2 and Q3, but nonetheless, should be an exciting Grand Prix. Let's go to the main race. Let's go to the Grand Prix for some action.
It's a new day, a new dawn, a new era for Formula One. This is the 2026 World Championship. New regulations, new cars, new fuels, new drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's ride. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, George Russell, and Antonelli, Verstappen, Sainz, Albon, and Isaac Hadjar, Gasly, Behrman, Franco Colapinto, and Ocon, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Valtteri Bottas, and Victor Martins, Alonso, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Perez, Mini, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, the First Lady of World Motorsports, Naomi Schiff. A new season, a new dawn, and now 24 cars and 12 teams on the grid.
First of all, this is such an exciting time. But for them today, I guess you would be really nervous. It's the first time you're going to be doing this. There is so much to learn. But at the end of the day, they've got to remember that expectations aren't that high. They've all been there before. They've all had their first race, and no one is expecting them to land on the top of the podium. So just learn to walk before you can run.
So here we are in the main race.
New modes, new opportunity. Let's go.
As Mark said, let's yabba dabba do this. The Australian Grand Prix, it always provides action. It will never disappoint. It's going to be the question of where can we finish starting this low down. It's going to be the question of really nothing to lose, isn't it? It's going to be the thought of, well, do what we want, do what we can. From fighting this far back, we need to gain 13 places to even get a point here. Which I think, I would like it, say, like, if they change the point system a touch. Like, say, like, since there's 22 cars, make points go to P11 now. So it's like half the grid can score points. It would be entertaining, but nonetheless, we can either way head on to this formation lap where it's the first time we're going to be able to put the clutch out in this season. And the reason Mark's telling me to hold the clutch and do the throttle is mainly because this is my first time doing a race start on this PC, on the game. Obviously, I've done it before on the console, but on the PC, it's the first time that we are doing a race start. So he's just basically telling me what to do. How rude of him. But anyway, this is going to be just focused so we keep the tyre wear to a minimum, get the fuel up, keep the fuel as it is, raise the brake bar so we can get... It's in a sense, when you put the brake bars all the way up, it's like using magic, in a sense, to like the magic brake, to ensure that we can get maximum tyre temps on the front. But anyway, it'll be one of the second to last car to grid up, and we can go to the 5 red lights on. Top left of your screen is the off-board display. 5 lights on, ahead of the drivers, we go racing for the season opener towards turn number 1. So it's quite a sluggish start, with the Cadillac alongside as well making a good start. We've already gained 2 places. Through turn 1 we go. We're now going to look to go wheel to wheel with Victor Martin, then as well as the Racing Bulls, while with Lindblad we go through turn 1 and 2 before we make our way down this mini straight towards turn 3. Piastri leads from Norris, the Australian wonder, the wonder from down under leads. We're looking to go around the outside of Arvid Lindblad and the Racing Bulls. We have the outside line to be the inside for turn number 4. Before turn number 5 we go, think of an outside move on Perez before we have to just back out of it. Oh, sorry, Bottas, I apologise. Thinking of a move on Bottas, who I'm surprised he's this far down, to be honest, because of how much he, because of how well we did in Q1. I'm surprised we find him this far down, but nonetheless, deploying our battery, making our way down towards turn number 9, just completely flying on by with a smart use of our battery compared to the AI, up into 18th already with a very, very good start already. Then through turn 9 to number 10, we have to play patient here because we want to make sure that we don't use it all immediately, otherwise we'll be so vulnerable. Down into towards turn 11, we see we're liking off already, and Bottas is going to dive on our inside line. Wheel to wheel we go. We have the outside line to hold the momentum and keep P18, so it's a very, very solid start for ourselves in this Australian Grand Prix. We've jumped Bottas, Lindblad, our teammate, jumped so many people. Alonso will be up next on the list in that tractor of an absolute Aston Martin, and make our way towards turn number 1. But here's a replay then of Antonelli's race start, where this is probably the standout start. It started in 6th. We've got the jump on Hamilton. Both Ferraris got away really slowly as well as we head through turn number 1. Antonelli on the outside of Lewis Hamilton. Apply the power. He gets past Hamilton. Then we make our way towards turn number 3. Look at that, just instantly flying past Charles Leclerc, and Antonelli just dispatches of the 2 prancing horses in immediate effect as we go through turn 3 and 4, and Antonelli flies on by. A lovely start for the young Italian driver, a real-life championship leader. Nonetheless, it's our turn to make some more moves as we make our way in towards turn number 8. Going to be completely plain sailing around the outside. Look how close that was. Completely flying on through to take P17. And we've more or less made up half the arrears we need to already make our way towards turn number 11. And once again, we're watching the battle for the lead. Piastri versus Norris. Norris dispatches of his teammate. Lando Norris leads the Australian Grand Prix. Here comes George Russell as well. Russell looking on the outside line, running wheel to wheel with the Australian. The Australian looking to get his elbows out. He looks around the outside of turn number 4 to keep 2nd place in the race for in front of his home crowd. Oscar Piastri still ahead. Now as we go through turn 1, look how close they all close up. It's like a concertina effect in the sense we tapped the rear of Ocon, luckily. No front wing damage. As we're going to be going towards turn number 3. We're going to go brave on the brakes here, diving on the inside of the Frenchman. And we get past another, up into 16th place. We leave him racing very on the inside of turn 4. And we get to position, up into P16. We're not done here. We are not done yet, as now we make our way through turn 6 and turn 7. We are gaining now on the rear of Nico Hulkenberg in the Audi. Audi power against Audi power. Down towards turn number 9. We go all the way around the outside, but we're going to see he's going to gain back. We do a bit of Lyco. We get ahead before the braking. We are able to slam that opportunity shut for the German driver, and we are through into 15th position now, but we're not done yet. Liam Lawson and Franco Colapinto. They are dueling now, rubbing tyres, rubbing floors, as we go through turn number 12 towards turn 13 and 14. Colapinto not wanting to give Lawson an inch. Lawson not wanting to give Colapinto an inch as we go apply the power. Lawson squeezing Colapinto to the outskirts of the track. Now we head down the main straight. Head towards turn number 1. Lawson seems low on battery, so we're going to just go make it 3 wide momentarily and sail on by Liam Lawson, sail by the Kiwi driver. Colapinto holds the position. We're going to now try and set up a move on the Argentine driver before we make our way down the straight towards turn 3. Look for the outside line. Colapinto goes defensive on the braking, but we are able just to stay, well, we're able to stay behind. Before the lead of the Australian Grand Prix, through goes George Russell. The Mercedes man, the pre-season favourite, goes through into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix, showing he has got pace and talent in that Mercedes. Anyway, we make our way down in towards turn 9 once again. We're down this but at the end of this long straight, where once again we are gaining and gaining and gaining all the time. We completely set on by Colapinto, but once again he comes on back at us. Under braking, we just once again slam the door shut, chop any opportunity off for Franco Colapinto. And an issue I've been having recently with this is well, I don't know what it is, but some of my inputs, they don't they don't happen. Sometimes it misses a downshift. Like I press the downshift, it doesn't do anything. I press the D-pad as George Russell will be looking to reclaim the lead. He lost it momentarily. Then as we head down the main straight, Norris must have used some more battery. George Russell was gaining all the time, putting out to the inside line, and the Mercedes man, British driver, Antonelli down in 5th. George Russell back into the lead of the Grand Prix. Once again, we are going to have to try and close up. And the thing I was saying, we've got an issue. I've got an issue where it's like my inputs don't input sometimes. I think that's the best way I could realistically put it. So let's say if I press the D-pad to turn my battery down, sometimes it doesn't do it, and I feel like at one point it's going to cost us dearly. Because like say if I think I'm in none, I'm gonna put more throttle on because I don't expect the rears to spin up, because then if it leaves us in medium, we're going to be completely screwed because of the main fact that if we have more battery on than we expect, we're going to be struggling massively because of our rear. Nonetheless, we close up a lot on Bearman, but I don't want to use overtake here because I'm low on battery. We do some, you see, when we like it, Bearman does the exact same as well. He lifts us the exact same point as us as we go in towards turn 11, towards turn 12. We go now before turn number 13. This is the issue here. Look, I think I'm in none here. We're actually still in medium tyre. So I'm thinking, let's just boot the throttle. And then the rear spins away. And all the hard work is gone in an instant. And we are now going to be plumb last in this Australian Grand Prix. And that's the issue I was on about, where I think I'm in a different mode. But it's just unfortunate. I thought I was in none, so I put more throttle on than I expected. And it didn't put me down into none, and we was on medium. And obviously with the more battery deployment, that's going to be the pain. Obviously we go through turn 1, and there's our track limit warning, because ever since this spin, just the car was not turning. Something felt so off after the spin, like we had suspension damage where the car just wasn't turning. But I know it's not possible, like under braking as well. Just absolutely shocking performance, but it's probably just a skill issue, isn't it? But nonetheless, we can continue on. We go through turn 5. We have gained a lot. We have gained quite a lot already. We're already almost on the rear of our teammate as we head through turn number 6. And there's another one of the track limits. The car was not gripping up at all in this Australian Grand Prix as we now make our way towards turn number 9. We're going to sail all the way around the outside of our teammate to take P23, and this is like fighting for the wooden spoon. Is this position between the two teammates, because who wants to finish 23rd? Anyway, in terms of positions we have made up now, Gasly had pitted as well has Alonso as well, Stroll as well, and some others as well. We make our way into the pit lane. We go. Alonso ahead has come into the box. Then we go under braking, get it stopped nicely, and we can trundle down the pit lane. We can trundle towards our pit box, press the pit in button, go in towards our garage, and you can see, you can very tell, just look at the way the look of the front right was an instant issue on the front right, and we've lost ideally 2 points, to at least 3 seconds really, in that pit stop. Make our way on the pit exit, and we was only going to be really, what, 2, 3, 4 seconds behind Stroll? We're now 8 and a bit seconds behind Stroll, so it's not the most ideal in terms of what we would have wanted, but nonetheless, the grip still felt really, really low, but the tyres weren't cold. We head through turn number 9, dip a wheel in the gravel, overcorrect the car into the wall. We go front wing more or less destroyed, and I thought at this point, there's no point continuing because we're wasting mileage in the engine. We're wasting mileage overall, but if we can be trundling around back here, we come into the pit lane, retire from session. That's that for this Australian Grand Prix. Quite the most underwhelming start, but a positive showing because we did have pace to fight towards the front. We showed that, didn't we? We showed we were getting towards the front, towards the front of the midfield, I should say. And well, yeah, Who do we think won the Grand Prix? Well, let's go and find out
There
who
seems
won.
to have been a
And the
problem
best
removing
on
the
the
front
track.
wing, but we've got to
It's
try and
George
put that
Russell
behind
who
us now and
wins.
finish the race strong. Get your head down.
Well, they kept us guessing during pre-season testing. We all wondered who it was going to be, and to have them draw it out here today, that they are the ones to beat, just goes to show that all the work they put in has really counted.
It's time for our podium celebrations. And as ever in Formula One, 3 is the magic number. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, George Russell has won the Australian Grand Prix like real life from Lando Norris, and then Lewis Hamilton. Australia still wait for a home podium. Oscar Piastri 4th, Max Verstappen in P5 from Charles Leclerc in 6th. Antonelli, who had a great start, finishes 7th ahead of Isaac Hadjar in P8. And Liam Lawson gets his first points of the season behind Pierre Gasly, who gets 1 point for Alpine. Carlos Sainz was the fastest lap in 11th from Hulkenberg, Lindblad, and then Ocon, Oliver Bearman, then Franco Colapinto, Gabriel Bortoleto, Sergio Perez in P18, Valtteri Bottas, then Lance Stroll, Victor Martin, Fernando Alonso, and then the 2 DNFs, Alexander Albon and Gabriella Mini. So, quite the woeful start to a season. Here's your standing. The drivers are the race results. The constructors, though, Mercedes lead by a single point ahead of McLaren, who are then 7 points ahead of Ferrari, 8 points behind Mercedes is Ferrari, and then Red Bull only scoring 14 points, then VCARB with 2, Alpine with 1, but then save the full race replay so I can get all of this stuff. But if you did enjoy this, I know it's not the most entertaining episode, thank you for watching nonetheless. I will see you all for the next one. We head to the Chinese Grand Prix, but from me and myself, ciao adios, I will be done for today.